This episode of Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by Action 24/7, Tennessee's only local, legal sports book. Use code Pucks Out when you make your first deposit, and our friends over at Action will give you a 50% boost on your first deposit up to $800. That's right, up to $400 extra when you use code Pucks Out. And once again, this week there are so many dope events and promos happening. Thursday and Friday, the 24th and 25th, the NCAA tournament is heating up. They'll be starting their weekend with a college basketball parlay. Put $50 on a college basketball parlay plus 500 odds or greater and get a $15 free bet if it doesn't hit. And on Sunday, the 27th, there are 7 NBA games happening starting at 2:30. So bet $50 on NBA parlay plus 500 odds or greater, and you'll get an extra $15 if your parlay hits. And did you know you can gamble with cash? You no longer have to wait on your sports book to send you a check. You won, and you can get your money right now with Action 24/7. Check out over 100 locations scattered around Middle Tennessee. Check out the link in the show description to learn more. Once again, use code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action 24/7 will give you a 50% boost on your first deposit up to $800. What are you waiting for?
From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the 3 majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out Podcast. Join them every Tuesday for trivia and Thursday for bingo night. Tell them Pucks Out sent you. Here soon, we got to get back out there and host another bingo night. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had too much of a blast there, man.
But today we are talking trade deadline, a bunch of NFL trades, talking a little bit about the Eternals, got our games of the week, and much, much more. How you been this week, bud?
Great. I mean, tournament, fantastic. Won some pretty good money. Other than that, it's been a week. This has been a week. I'm excited for more basketball this coming up weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I'm traveling this weekend to Florida for my sister-in-law's wedding. Going to be traveling. Going to have to get all my bets in before we leave Tennessee. But yeah, don't forget to check out What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. Let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
There is a bunch to talk about. The 2022 trade deadline has passed, and there are a bunch. Unfortunately, as Preds fans, we didn't see the one we wanted to see, which was the re-signing of Forsberg. But David Poile has said that they are committed to keeping with each other. They just need to come to a price, and they will get it done during the offseason or hopefully before the.
Yeah, if he wasn't traded, then we could. There's
still time.
Opportunity to get that signed for sure.
But
so
let's go down the list here. The Carolina Hurricanes get Max Domi and Tyler Inamoto from the Blue Jackets and the Panthers. The Vegas gets John Moore and Ryan Kessler, and Dadonov goes to the Ducks for a 2nd-round pick.
Now, noting that deal is currently under dispute by the NHLPA and NHL.
And so in our main topic, we're going to go over like best and worst of these. So I do want to talk a little bit of that, but we'll see what happens with that. Victor Rask goes to the Kraken for future considerations.
Now there's a whole lot. Are you reading all of these?
I'm just going through some of the big ones.
Okay.
Ricard Raquel to the Penguins for Aston Reese and some other people. Let's see. Tampa and Sharks, not a big one. The Winnipeg Jets and the Rangers. The Rangers get Andrew Copp and a 2023 6th-round pick. The Jets get some conditional round picks. Some becomes a first if the Rangers win 2 playoff series and Copp plays 50%. Some other conditional stuff. And a player Riley Nash heads to the Lightning.
For our favorite player.
Future considerations.
Future considerations.
Yeah, you got to get his jersey before he leaves.
You got to, I mean, well, he's played for every single team in the league. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about getting his jersey before he's leaving. He's coming back, but he's already played there as well.
My wife's favorite player, Anthony Potato, goes to the Sharks from the Rangers.
You mean Anthony Potato?
Yeah, Anthony Potato. Looking through here,
I like Tyler Mott from Vancouver to New York.
Okay,
Canucks getting a 2023 4th-round pick.
Nice. Capo Kakinen to the Sharks from the Wild for a pick, and Jacob Middleton. Marc-Andre Fleury to the Minnesota Wild from the Blackhawks for a conditional 22 draft pick. 2nd-round pick becomes the first if Minnesota reaches the Western Conference Final, and Fleury accounts for 4 more wins in the first 2 rounds. It's very specific, but yeah, that's a huge pickup. That's technically a Vezina winning goaltender. Let's see here. I think Jacob Chychrun ended up not moving this year, did he?
I'm not seeing him on the list.
Yeah, so that's probably because of his injury. That sucks for him. But anyway, so yeah, that's the big ones. And here's the thing: players can still technically be moved. They just can't play for that team or in the playoffs if they get traded. So you just usually don't see it happen.
Leafs getting Mark Giordano.
Oh,
Colin
yeah.
Blackwell is probably a big one. 2022 Kraken get 2022 2nd-round pick, 2023 2nd-round pick, and 2024 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, and I think the Preds got Mark Biega from the Leafs and Jeremy Lasagna. I don't know.
Panthers. I don't know if you mentioned this. Jean-Claude Giroux.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Jean-Claude Van Damme as well. Connor Bunneman, German Rubstoff, and 2025 5th round to the Panthers, and then Flyers get in return Owen Tippett and a 2024 1st round and a 2023 3rd round.
Arturi Lehkonen to the Avalanche. I like that one a lot. That's good for his value, a whole shit ton.
Hampus Lindholm and Cody Curran. I mean, Lindholm was a great get for the Bruins.
Yeah.
He fetched a pretty hefty price too. I'm just noting 2022 1st round, 2023 2nd round, 2024 2nd round, Euro Vakinen and John Moore for Hampus Lindholm and Cody Curran.
Yeah, and Robert Hagg goes to Florida. Did you already mention Claude Giroux as well?
Did.
Okay, yeah, you
Panthers,
did. Brandon Hagel goes to the Lightning. Ben Sherratt to the Panthers. So that's a big D-man.
Frank Vachano from the Panthers to
Manson,
the Rangers.
And I think a lot of this other stuff we talked about last week. Yeah. But all right, yeah. So that about covers it for the big deals. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk about it, best and worst, and our thoughts on them. So let's jump over to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Almost as big as the NHL trade deadline was all the trades and the transactions happening over in the NFL. All-time great Tennessee Titan Marcus Mariota, as some would say. Which is still surprising. There are still
Marcus Mariota.
Mar.
That's how you always remembered it. It's not Mary.
Okay, well.
That's you mean call him whatever you want.
He's not here anymore.
No, I just wanted you to be on the up and up on the name.
Yeah. Mariota.
Mariota. He's Hawaiian though. He's not.
Okay.
He's not Italian at all. I mean, maybe there's some Italian lineage, but I don't think so.
Maybe he was an Italian raised in Hawaii.
Well, I mean, that's possible, but I think he's like natively Hawaiian, right?
I don't know.
I mean, again,
I don't know how to say his last name. I wouldn't know his genealogy.
Well, I mean, I don't think you don't know how to say a lot of people's last names that you know their genealogy. You know,
I don't know a lot of people's genealogy, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's not very common, but I mean, I'm just saying there's probably people that you know that you know where they're from, but like you don't know how to say their name. Like Idris Elba. Like a lot of people probably know he's English, but like that's a weird name if you just saw it written out.
It's a stereotypically British name. Duh.
Oh my gosh, it's so stereotypically British. So stereotypically British.
Marcus Mariota to the Falcons on a 2-year contract. Matt Ryan to the Colts. I gotta say, honestly, when I saw that pop up, I was surprised that he left Atlanta for a 2022 third-round pick. Deshaun Watson to the Browns, along with a 2024 fourth in exchange for 22 first-round draft pick, 23 first-round draft pick, a 23 third-round draft pick, a 24 first-round draft pick, and a 24 fourth-round draft pick. I don't like that at all. To me, that is way overpaying for Deshaun Watson, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't even know if the system is really like a Deshaun Watson type system. I don't know that I like it either. Not that I'm sitting here saying that Baker Mayfield was the answer.
No.
But I mean, that him not being the answer doesn't mean that you go and break the bank.
Yeah. I also, honestly, what I don't like, and, people can have their own thoughts and opinions on the matter. Personally, I am not happy with the NFL about how many teams, a lot of people are shitting on the Browns. Oh, you went and got Deshaun Watson with all the off-field stuff going on. The hate should not be directed towards the Browns. The hate should be directed towards the NFL, which has built this system. The reason he got paid so much is because there was so much competition to try and get him. So many other teams wanted Deshaun Watson, and frankly, I don't like that. I don't think he should be playing in the NFL, but I'm not a GM. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Chiefs. That's going to be dangerous. That division is going to be lighting it up. So those are some of the big ones. There were some other signages. I think Cole Beasley got released. Julio Jones got released. I don't know if he's been picked up again.
Yeah, there was a good bit of stuff that went down. It was a big weekend. I feel like
Austin Hooper got released from the Browns, and I think he got picked up by the Titans.
Yes, Hooper came to the Titans. I did remember that. Who else did you mention? Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette got re-signed. They're getting the band back together in Tampa. Did Dallas let go somebody? Who was it?
Jamison Crowder to the Bills on a 1-year deal. Von Miller to the Bills as well. I think that's a great move. Devontae Adams to the Raiders.
Devontae Adams
to the Raiders.
Apparently his relationship with Aaron Rodgers has just deteriorated over the past, which honestly, if you go back maybe a couple of weeks, I said, when Aaron Rodgers starts doing the things he's doing, he's going to start singling out some of his big playmakers. And I said I wouldn't be surprised if they leave. I was not expecting Devontae Adams to up and leave.
He really has, as far as stardom goes, really two guys. So everybody else, now he has one guy, and Aaron Jones. I guess A.J. Dillon could be argued for, and he has some quality receivers, but not anything to break the bank. I'm really interested to see what they do with their draft this year.
Yeah.
Matt Breida to the Giants, Lyle Collins to the Bengals. 2 days ago, a source said Robert Woods to the Titans, which would be
that would be huge.
That was Ian Rappaport. I don't know if anything has gone down with that. They re-signed Michael Gallup. Cedric Wilson didn't re-sign with them. He went somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's who you're probably thinking. Amari Cooper to the Browns.
Yeah, that was it. Okay, I guess I was looking for the Dallas
just
logo.
So much. No, literally so much has gone on. I'm sure we've probably missed some, but
for sure. So
we have plenty of time this summer to kind of talk about moves. When
some other
lands.
news, all the crazy drama that coming out of Jacksonville. Apparently when Urban Meyer, the Athletic reported that when Urban Meyer got there, almost immediately the morale in the locker room started crashing after some players said that he didn't understand that he was working with adults. The same thing that we judged him for and thought would happen is what happened.
Yeah.
And he gets there and he doesn't know who some of these stars are. Apparently, they're getting ready for a game against the Rams. And he says to his players, "So who's this number 99 guy that I hear he might be an issue for us?" You mean Aaron Donald? Probably the biggest star in the league, the defensive player of the year.
Not doing your homework.
He didn't know who Deebo Samuel was.
How do you not know? How do you not know who every guy in the league is? Just because purely based off the fact that it's your job to do it. Like, get some flashcards. Like, you need to learn people's.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying going into it. Like, he got hired because of his coaching skills. Or, I mean,
quote unquote, air quotes, coaching skills.
His coaching skills. I mean, he didn't have to come into the league an expert on the NFL. He's never been there before.
Yeah.
But a guy like Pete Carroll came in and it was immediately successful. I mean, that is the I don't.
It's just the fact that he came in with this thought process that, like, he needs to look at the former regime there. He's following up a 2-time Super Bowl championship winner, Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
You can't come in here acting like you are some big dog that's going to just be the savior of this team. If Tom Coughlin couldn't be the savior of this team, don't think you will be, bud.
I mean, it's why, and I'm bringing him up again. Pete Carroll was successful, and guys like Steve Spurrier and Urban Meyer and Nick Saban were not successful in NFL coaches because they didn't operate like that. They were the boss. They were the
you go
bee's
from being
knees.
the head honcho all the time to being, and not to mention, apparently one of his issues also was that he didn't like the fact that some of his players got paid more than him.
Like, bro, like,
dude,
you
that's
don't have to get
that's how the
used
business
to.
works.
Like, you'll never win football games if you don't have people that make more money than the coach.
Like,
man. Like,
there was another issue where he would straight up insult his players. There was an issue where one of the University of Florida receivers forgot a route on like one of the first days of training camp. He went up to Trevor Lawrence and was like, "Hey, you need to be careful with those guys that went to those Southern colleges. Their IQ ain't that great." And it's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, yeah. So he constantly just bumped heads, and that shit with not flying back on the jet. And the thing is, I don't think. Some people are saying that, he just didn't know any better. No, I think he did know better. I think he's just naive enough where he thought he was bigger than that. Because in college, you can pull shit like that and it can fly under the radar. You can cover stuff up in college.
I agree.
In the NFL, you're not covering that shit up.
This is a smart guy. Let's not be dumb. When the thing that we sat here and said, us two sat here and said months ago was going to happen happens. Like, we're not geniuses, man. We just can see what has happened before. To let him off the hook like that is naive. To assume that he just thought that he was better than that. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you completely on your take on it. I mean, I really couldn't have said it better. So, 100%. No. He's garbage.
Yeah. All right. So March Madness. Let's move into our. All right. Okay. Let's talk a little bit of March Madness. It's been a really fun time. Within, I think, couple hours, a lot of my brackets were busted.
I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
Also, real quick. I mean, you brought it up before we talked about it. Thank you all for joining up on this on our bracket cat. We got about
now. A lot of you guys have usernames on there, so if you do end up winning, we're gonna announce it on the show and on Twitter. You need to hit us up to get your prize because I have no idea how to track some of you down. So just
I mean, nor do we care. I mean, I will give you your money if you let us know. But my plans though. They don't allow for anybody else to get our money because I'm going to be winning this, dude. I'm got Texas Tech.
I haven't looked at the update. How am I doing? Probably not.
Scroll down if we have enough time for me to scroll down that far. You're not doing fantastic. I mean, you got 380 points with 980 available.
Yeah, I'm ranked 29 for Arizona. But if Arizona goes all the way, could have a little solid point.
But you have Auburn winning and two people up top already have Arizona winning. True. So it's not, it's always possible, Bob. I never want to say it's not possible, but
technically I could come in 7th.
You could. But I'm sitting up there with 430 points and 1,230 available. Everybody above me, there's 3 more people with 430 above me, and then 2 people with 440 above me. So I'm right there, but everybody has a higher available max.
Yeah.
I'm the only one with Texas Tech winning, though. We got a Purdue, we got a Kansas, we got a Gonzaga, and we got 2 Arizonas up top.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research because, you never know when I'm thinking about something, I never know if it's true or if it's just recency bias. So I did a little bit of research, and we are currently a little bit on track, maybe a little bit behind to have the most amount of upsets ever in a single tournament.
Like total numbers.
Total number of upsets.
Yeah.
Because at first I looked at the first round, there were...
well, the best way to do it, I mean, I guess not the best way because but just to see like as far as like upset being the biggest wise is seeing the total number of seedings in each
differences,
round, seeding in each round because the higher it is, the more upsets that there had to have been.
So I believe in like I had it written down. I believe in like the 90s or in the late 80s, early 90s, there was the first round had like 13 upsets. It was insane. There was on the first Thursday that we were on track to beat that. They had 5. They needed 6 upsets on Saturday. They didn't get that. However, they are on track to possibly have the most upsets because of the second round throughout the entire thing. So that it is possible because there has been a lot of upsets. And I thought there seems to be a lot of upsets, but it was a little bit of recency bias. But we're on, it could happen depending on how it how it goes. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We both made a good bit of money on St. Peter's.
St. Peter's, Richmond, day one. It started my whole tournament off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like, I didn't care because I could just lose money. I could throw parlays out. I had $25 with a 64% profit boost on Richmond.
Nice.
Won like $189.
Yeah.
So like you start the tournament off like that day one with like 5 more games to go. So yeah, we both won a good amount of money on St. Peter's.
Chat. I would have won so much money on chat.
Oh my god! Why'd you even bring that up?
That was devastating.
That was the
Illinois only led for 24 seconds in that game, and it was the most important 24 seconds. The last 24 seconds,
only ones that mattered. Okay, so first round, what loss were you the most surprised about?
Well, I
mean, obviously the 15-2s, but I'll tell you, UConn going down to me was New Mexico State played such a good basketball game to the point where I actually bet on them against Arkansas.
Yeah.
So UConn going down was pretty crazy to me. What about you, man? You have any that's just
Yeah, I'm going through it right now. Let me give me just a second to scroll through. Yeah, UConn obviously was a huge one. UK, Kentucky.
Yeah, St. Peter's. I mean, they played a good bat, but they won again.
That's more of a Cinderella thing.
You know what's crazy is that UK and Murray State have never met before. They were writing it up. They're writing up this tournament meeting.
I wanted a lot of money on the Murray State first round though. I took them pretty hard.
Me too.
I went hard on them. I am surprised Akron put up much as a fight against UCLA as they did.
Yeah.
It looked ugly for UCLA in that first half.
Yeah. I mean, they were right there. They beat St. Mary's more than they beat.
I thought Alabama was going to show it better than it did against Notre Dame.
North Carolina, I think, has probably been the surprise of the tournament. If you're talking about some blue blood teams, not the St. Mary's.
I won a lot of money on UNC too, only because as an ACC guy, I am always going to be biased for the ACC. And seeing. I was like, you know what? I hate Duke with a passion, but seeing Duke versus North Carolina go against each other, Coach K's last year, how amazing would that be? Just from a story and just a fan point of view.
That game was way closer than it looked. I had the Michigan State spread plus 6.5. They had that the whole game.
So the TTU Duke game, that's like a pick'em game almost. Do you think that I think Tech should be a little bit more favored than they are?
Yeah,
I honestly don't know how to go on that. I mean,
what action have the odds?
I think it was the odds. I know the spread was +1 for Duke. I didn't see the actual odds.
Oh, so Texas Tech is the favorite team.
But like when it's a 1 point in basketball like that, might as well. It's almost.
No, it's a pick 'em for sure. I mean, I was just saying I didn't know if it was like, oh, Duke is like, favored by a good bit because of who they are. So, I mean. I obviously have been big on Texas Tech, so I would lean that way. I was not impressed by Duke. They did not.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes they just know how to get it done, though. That's the thing.
Sure.
It's like they can get it done when it's not pretty. Yep. So right now, Duke is -1 at +1, -105 on the money line. So yeah, that's.
It's tough. I mean,
I think I might throw a little bit on Duke +1. I'm not. I mean, at -110 versus -105, maybe see what an alt line is. See if I can maybe find them +3.5 by a couple points.
Yeah, I'm gonna smash. I'm gonna smash on that Texas Tech money line. Probably, It's probably just where I'm landing. Just on the thought process of it.
Yeah. St. Peter's is plus 650. I put some money on them again. Money line, just ride them, see what happens.
Yeah, I may have to do that as well.
UNC versus UCLA. How do you feel about that?
Oof, I mean,
I think I'm going to take the UNC plus 110 money line.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not go North Carolina with the two shows that they've put on.
Yeah.
I mean, Mendel will be back. I mean, the only reason that that game even became close was because he got kicked out on a technical. I mean, they were dominating that basketball game. Baylor made a great comeback. I hate it because I've been higher, and on my brackets are going to be higher on UCLA. I don't think that there's any way that they can beat North Carolina.
Iowa State, Miami. I like Miami in this one. Yeah. Miami showed Miami looked good against Auburn.
Miami looked good against Auburn. They looked good the game before that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I would lean towards Miami myself.
This game, I don't think it's going to be nearly as close as everyone. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. Arizona, Houston. I think Houston keeps it real close.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm like a lot of people are disagreeing with the sports books. They have Houston at plus 1.5. People online, people are saying that Arizona's just going to blow Houston out. I don't think that happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona wins, but I could definitely see it go into overtime. These are two very good teams.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get to the Sweet 16 and you're a bad basketball team. I mean, there may be a blowout or two here, but that's just basketball and just the way it is.
Yeah. Arkansas Gonzaga. That is a game I think that Gonzaga could run away with.
Yeah, I'm just not.
I don't know if I like them really minus 9.5, but I like them minus 4.5 maybe.
Yeah, I mean they just know when to turn it on. I mean their game against Memphis, they were down 10 at half, and won by 4. In a close battle. Georgia State, they were right there at half, and then they took it off. But it was why they lost against Baylor last year. They can't do that. They really need to. You got
to come out of the gate swinging. In this, you can't rely. You can't hope for to have some Mike's Juice or something like that at halftime. Michigan Villanova. At first I thought Villanova was going to run with it, but Michigan looked good.
I think Villanova.
Yeah, I mean, I think Villanova takes it. I might take. I think I'm going to take the -5 on that. All right, let's move in to our main topic of the day: best and worst of the trade deadline for the NHL. Starting off, we're going to talk about one thing I think is just horrible, not worst value-wise, but the Dadonov situation. Imagine being Evgeny Dadonov. The one place you didn't want to go in your contract was the Ducks. So here are his two options, not really his options, the two outcomes, because it's not up to him, it's up to the NHL and the NHLPA. Either he has to go to the one team he didn't want to go to, or he gets stuck on a team that gave you away for a second round pick. Gave you in a second round pick away for some players like that. It's not a good situation. The Knights really screwed that situation up by not doing their research and figuring out where. I mean, even the cap friendly website knew about it and had it on the terms. So that's just bad policing from Vegas on that.
Yeah, one of the bads for me would have to be all that was given up for Hampus Lindholm, and
I'm not a fan of the Preds pick of what Preds gave up for Loazon, a second round pick. Even though we have a couple second round picks, I don't think getting another depth D-man is something that we needed for that price.
Right.
This is a guy who is statistically not good, who has always underperformed at every team he's been on, and I don't know why David Boyle believes that he'll suddenly pick it up. This is one more big guy who can beat people up. We got Tanner Jeannot, man. Tanner Jeannot is now he leads rookies in goals and leads the league in fighting majors. He just hit 100 PIMs for fighting.
So this Cody Curran guys, I mean, I guess he's a rookie. I guess he's, potentially some sort of big time. I mean, he's 32 years old, so he can't have been something, too big. I mean, I'm just trying to justify. I guess I just don't get it. That's just a whole lot to give up for Hampus Lindholm and a 32-year-old rookie.
Yeah. A first,
a second, or first 2 seconds, and 2 D-men. I mean, does that not seem a little
there
odd to you?
There has to be something there that we're not seeing.
I mean, Cap, maybe they had to move it, but like, what is the?
I don't know what the cap situation was for them, but maybe to re-sign Marchand or some other big name, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's one I didn't really like. Second of all, I really liked the Ricky Rax to the Penguins. I mean, I don't like it for the terms that I think it makes the Penguins better, but I figure we were just doing, hey, this is a good trade for this team.
Yeah.
So Ricky Rax to Pittsburgh really sucks and is a really great move, I think, in my mind.
Yeah. Do you think the Rangers overpaid for Andrew Copp?
No, not for two conditional second rounders and a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Andrew Copp. I think he could.
I like it.
I'm
kind of on the fence about it. I think it's a decent trade. I don't think it necessarily is great. Don't think it's horrible.
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about. I think it's worth going after it. Going after a chance for it. I mean, we can say Fleury to the Wild is a decent play.
I think it's about time he got out of there. I did not like that matchup of Fleury and Chicago at all. I just don't think they worked. I think to me, what comes out as the blockbuster trade is the Mark Giordano and Blackwell to the Leafs.
That's I don't know about blockbuster,
well, when I'm just comparing
but in terms of
ones, there is no PK and Shea Weber deal. I mean, maybe Marc-Andre Fleury would be the blockbuster one this year. I mean,
I'd say Giroux maybe in because there was a lot involved in that. I mean, apparently Hampus Lindholm, he's fetching huge prices. Järnkrok to the Flames. I mean, we know a little bit more about Järnkrok than a lot would know.
Joins his cousin up there in Calgary.
Panthers, I think, had a good trade. You know, I think I mean, as far as who they got, I think the Rangers had a good trade deadline as well.
Yeah, and I like Owen Tippett. I've got him in a couple. I picked him up. You know, I kind of stream him every once in a while in some fantasy leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So the Flyers get a good guy with that.
Yeah, but honestly, I think the best trade for any team came way before, and we've already talked about it. And I think that's Toffoli to the Flames. Honestly, I think for what the teams needed, I like Ricky Rax to Penguins or Toffoli to the Flames. Honestly, it hasn't been
the, I mean, I think it was really, really overshadowed between the MLB lockout and then all the moves in the NFL over the past week.
It's honestly literally the worst time we could have had a trade deadline discussion because with March Madness and all of the stuff that's going on in football. I mean, we're going to talk about it because, we started this as a generally hockey podcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not been super exciting.
For sure. For 100%. All right, guys, hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you think is the best and worst of the trade deadline. I want to hear all your biasism and how your team got screwed or how your team did the best. I know the Islanders were dead set that they were getting Forsberg. They're like, we're the only ones that can afford them. Just go ahead and send us. People already started buying Forsberg Islanders jerseys and stuff. So yeah, gotta love it. I do feel bad. Some people started buying the Dadonov Ducks jerseys and stuff.
Yeah, I don't, you stupid idiots. Until he plays a game for you, bro. And especially Dadonov of all people, a guy that's notoriously just been dude, I'll just go back to Russia. The only reason this dude is not back in Russia right now is because he probably can't go.
Yeah.
There's no games. Drafted. There's no games. He would be in a war. Okay.
Yeah. So. All right, let's move into games of the week.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
All righty. A little bit of a score update. Once again, we tied. I believe this is the 4th week in a row that we had the same. We both went 2-3. So literally over the past month, nothing really has changed.
Nothing has changed. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm creeping on. I'm 7 games behind.
Yeah,
that's a good number. I mean, that's a tough number. We're as many weeks as we keep tying.
But if we keep tying, it's going to end with you 7 games.
No,
behind.
that's what I'm saying. That's a good number. I mean, that's a good lead for you to be holding where we're at in the season right now.
Yeah, because that's 2 weeks. Because even if we both
the maximum I can beat you in a week is by 5. So I can't, even if I sweep a week and you lose every game, I'm still two games behind.
I'm sitting there
which
with
makes
a
it
2-possession
hard.
lead, and I just gotta kill the clock.
Because the only competition is ourselves. There is no. I can do nothing to stop. I can do nothing to play defense against you. You can do nothing to play defense against me.
No.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I was up by well more than this at about the same time last season. And you made a real run, like I was even doing okay, and like you were right there to the point where I think
outside
won.
you were like, oh, I'm not worried, but I could tell you're like,
The inside, I was worried. I was worried, man. I was gonna ruin my record here. But what do you got on Thursday? I'm actually got the first game
two
on
teams.
Thursday,
One of these teams is trying to keep their place in second, and the other one is fighting for that wild card. I got Vancouver versus Minnesota. Minnesota, they just had some great pickups. I'm taking Minnesota over Vancouver.
Like it. I went with the Predators Golden Knights Thursday the 24th at 9 p.m. Predators going out west. I'm going with the Predators. They've been playing really good hockey. A lot of distractions around Vegas right now, so I'm going to go with the hot hand and go with the Preds.
All right, on Friday, haven't picked yet. I'm going to take. There's like all the other ones are. I want to see what these new guys do. I'm gonna take Colorado versus Philly. Okay. I think let me see where that's being played. Not that it really matters, but it's playing in Colorado, so I'm gonna take the Avs over the Flyers. Even though I really need the Flyers to win for my water bet. But I think
Friday I have Penguins playing the Rangers. I really like some of the moves the Rangers have made. I like the move the Penguins have made, but I feel like it's going to take Ricky Rax a little bit more time to get acclimated rather than some of the moves that the Rangers made. I'm going to take the Rangers Friday the 25th at 6 p.m.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that one. On Saturday, or why don't you do your Saturday one first?
Yeah, sure.
Up first.
I got good old fashioned fun rivalry. Original Six Maple Leafs playing the Canadiens Saturday the 26th at 6 p.m. Always prone to drop a game, but I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs. I don't think that I need to be making big risks here, down 7 games. Next year, maybe when it's all about the money, which I'm excited about. I'm excited about to see who can make more money or lose more money.
Yeah,
we might just lose all the money every week, but I mean, we would be up. Yeah, probably
we'd be up.
Well, we pick some big favorites though, generally as a general rule.
All right. So on Saturday, late that night at 9 p.m., Edmonton versus Calgary. I got the Battle of Alberta. This one. I mean, on paper, Calgary is the better team. I'm tilting here a little bit. I thought I knew it when I came in. Taking Calgary.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow. I would have gone Calgary.
Yeah, you just never know.
No. I mean, Edmonton can absolutely win.
Calgary got shut out by Buffalo this week. So you just...
So Sunday, I guess mine could be first. I guess it really depends on what you're ultimately going to pick. But I'll go ahead and do mine while you look for your Sunday game. Avalanche playing the Wild Sunday, 3:27 at 5 p.m. This is tough because playing at Minnesota, it's tough. I'm gonna go with the Avs. I think you just got to go with the hot hand in general.
Yeah. So a couple hours before that, you can catch mine. I'm taking Islanders versus Tampa, and I so badly want to take the Islanders for them to win a matinee game at home. I just don't think they have it in them. Even though their last 5, I mean, the Islanders are 4-2, but Tampa's been not playing great either. You know what? I'm taking the Islanders over Tampa.
Okay. I don't hate it. I mean, they've played. They're a lot different hockey team than they were.
All right, Monday. I'll do that one first. Carolina versus Washington. It's going to be a great game. Washington's been struggling a bit. Hats off to Ovi for tying Gretzky for the most 40-goal seasons. Let's see if he can get one more next year. This is in DC. I think Carolina goes in and wins it.
Not a lot of great games on Monday. You took the obvious best one. So I'm going to take another. I'm going West Coast with it. Kraken playing the Kings Monday the 28th at 9:30. I'm going to go with the Kings.
Yeah, Kraken pretty much got rid of all their players.
Can't really be throwing out big risks like you. So.
Yeah, the Kraken really have. I mean, they're really hitting that reset button right from the beginning,
right off the bat.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
But all right, let's move into our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each sixth chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
You know, I know this feeling sometimes. Sometimes the hardest job in the world is just being a fan of a bad team. Whether it's like me, where you're a Washington football team fan, or around here you're a Tennessee Vols fan, or sometimes you're I guess technically a fan of any Tennessee team. Your heart's getting broken all the time. It'll always tease you. But especially hard for Ottawa Senators fans. Coming out of the CBC News, the Ottawa Senators fans in American Midwest sometimes wonder why he even bothers, is the headline. Cale Bear from Ashland, Kansas, tweeted, honestly, rooting for the Sens could easily be a top 5 worst decision I've ever made. I'm from Bleep, Kansas, even though the article went on to say where he's from, even though they bleeped that.
Well, he's probably... Oh, okay. I think it's probably an expletive.
Oh.
Would be my guess. I'm from Kansas, buddy. Would be my guess. I mean, that's
maybe
more, he said USA. Nobody says I'm from Kansas, USA, if they're talking about their city too. Like,
well, what if you're from Paris, Tennessee? Just gonna make people need to know that you're from the Paris, Tennessee, and Tennessee.
You don't have the internet.
He tweeted, honestly, rooting for the Sens could easily be a top 5 worst decision I've ever made. I'm from Bleep, Kansas, USA. Why did my dumbass decide to cheer for a team in Ottawa, Canada 15 years ago? I was a child. I didn't know any better. His tweet got the attention of some sympathetic local Sens fans, as well as CBC's Radio Ottawa Morning. The Ottawa Senators obviously aren't a great team right now, but if you look back over the last 15 years that I've been rooting for them, there have been some fantastic years. He ended up saying them. He cited rookie goalie Andrew Hammond's The Hamburglar run in 14-15, the unsuccessful 2017 playoff bid, and the feel you there, bud, and the tail end of the pizza line of Alfredson, Heatley, and Spezza. It's just
my favorite part are all the tweets responding to him. I didn't know there were fans from outside of Ottawa area. You might be the only one. Arneo. The next one, I'm an hour outside of Ottawa, and I feel I've made the same error.
Could have done worse. Imagine the heartbreak you've chosen the Leafs. Thank you for sharing our suffering. You have been seen as a fair weather fan in 2007, but you could have proven your heart over the past 15 years.
Yeah, and I'll tell you. Okay, so what's your team that you picked? And I don't know if you're like me at all, but I mean, mine happens to be, which kind of sucks, really, ultimately, because it's something that I don't get into as much as I wish I would get into. I'm an Everton fan, and again, this guy is at least they're showing this stuff on his TV at like normal time. Everton's a far way away. I could easily just give it up. All I have to do is unfavored them in my score app. That's it. That's it. They're no longer a favorite team.
There's a funny story, and I'm going to keep it in British football. I'm a Manchester United fan, which 1 point, great. Well, in my lifetime, they haven't done much.
Not a lot, but you've always still got that air of
It's like being a Yankees fan. The medal's there. The medal's there in the cabinet, and you can always say, "Yeah, but look,
Yeah, exactly.
And then
look what I helped.
I don't know if I ever told you the story about how my phone thinks I'm a huge Doncaster fan. About 5 years ago, I wanted to keep up on one score of a game. That's it, just one score. I don't even know why. I wanted to keep up a score of a Doncaster game. This is when they were in the Premier League, by the way. And my phone at the time, Google was like, "Oh, you're a Doncaster fan. I'm going to make sure you get all the alerts for Doncaster." They then took away the phone's ability to do that. But so I'm grandfathered into my phone giving me Doncaster updates, and I can't remove it. I have 5 years now. Every time Doncaster football.
Well, why are you not their fan then?
Oh, I've become their fan, but they lose it. I haven't yet to see them win a game in like 4 years. They've been relegated like 3 times.
That's even better.
So I'm just like, all right. So every time, and like it's always up in my notifications. Like here's the live score of the Doncaster game.
But eventually, they're going to be playing in like some Kroger parking lot, and you're going to get to go see them because they're going to be relegated far
eventually
down.
It might be like honestly I might get into an Apple TV show and they might hire me as the coach.
That's it. You can be.
But legitimately though, I mean, being a Washington football team fan, now Washington Commanders.
That's different. You were there. You
I was
grew
born
up
into
with
it.
You were born into that. That doesn't count. That's what we're saying. Is that like
but I could have easily have chosen Baltimore. I could have been like half my family said, you know what, I'm going to just pick Baltimore.
Yeah, but again, it wouldn't have been any different because it was in the area. That would have made sense. Like, this guy, Kansas. I mean, he was probably he's so much closer to St. Louis. So like, this is not a geography thing. He decided to be an Ottawa Senators fan. So like, there's got to be a team. I mean, there may not be. You can just say there isn't. But like, it sucks to be a Washington fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong in that regard. But it wasn't like you forced to do that.
For sure. I'm looking to see where Kansas is definitely closer to St. Louis. I always forget where Kansas is on the map, and I'm like, that's right near Oklahoma. So that is it's funny how fandom really just kind of controls our lives sometimes, and we really, especially as a gambler, I really have to work hard to block it out of my head sometimes.
Oh, not me.
I unsuccessfully did it when the Preds played the Leafs. It paid off. I won a crap ton of money.
Well, but if you think you're going to win the money, look, I've bet on the Preds too. See, some people say something dumb like, don't bet on your team. Like, don't bet on your team if like you just like have hopes and dreams that they're going to win. Like,
but like I legit like, and the thing is the Leafs were favored by 1.5.
Regular hockey season is a different animal, everybody.
Yeah, I went in and I said, I'm not only am I going to take the Preds money line, I'm taking the alt line of Preds minus 1.5. Yeah. And it was scary there for a minute, but it ended up paying off. So great discussion on that. Let's move on now to our pop culture segment. We're not quite yet back to the summer of Bond. Maybe we'll wait. It's 75 degrees in Tennessee right now, so we'll kind of
soon enough.
Yeah, soon enough. We're talking the Eternals. MCU. I saw it in theaters when it came out on release weekend.
I didn't. Super glad that I didn't. Just from watching it.
It was
separately.
Okay.
It was absolutely okay.
It wasn't bad.
I did not hate it. I'll tell you what we did not get enough of. Angelina Jolie.
I didn't like the way they took her arc.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot of it. I just didn't like the handling of.
I would have liked to see her full power in it. I felt like she should have been the strongest one of them. And it was kind of like when Hulk disappeared in Endgame, kind of. You didn't really get to see him fight much. That they just, I don't know if they were just like, well, she's too strong, so we're not going to.
Yeah. And I feel like there was like a whole lot of like introduction into stuff. Like that's the worst part about Eternals to me is I think it's introducing a lot of stuff into the world. It should have been a 2-part movie. Should have been, and like, or even like the Celestials being like just a side little like mentioned somewhere beforehand.
Yeah,
like,
I have no.
You telling me Thor doesn't know about the Celestials?
Yeah,
like
that's
all
my biggest
these people
issue.
Doesn't know.
And
about
hell,
this.
Jon Snow made a great point. Where the fuck were you guys when Thanos was here?
Yeah,
like we can't get involved. And as a comic book fan, I know Thanos is half whatchamacallit?
Celestial.
No, not half Celestial.
Titan.
Titan. Oh, he's half Titan and then half whatever the things they're supposed to be fighting. I forget the word.
Dumb.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, so like, and I get it. I get that there's stuff that you're going to have to incorporate in that you didn't really mention in the first place. But like, I don't know. It's just
deviant. Thanos is half
deviant.
Thanos is half deviant, which is why he's the Mad Titan. So in the comics, he is part deviant. So you guys should have been there to help against Thanos. It just seems, it as well put together, quote unquote, well put together as the MCU is. If you had told me that this was part 1, Eternals part 1, or they had mentioned them maybe in one of the TV shows or like, something like that, then I could get on board with it. But it just felt very, hey, we want some money. Boom, here you go.
It really did. I agree. I mean, it was, I don't know. I just didn't like the feel to it. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie.
No. And honestly, I will say, I 100% agree that it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. And part of me liked that. I like the fact that Marvel showed that they don't have to follow the same recipe for a movie, because like we said, it wasn't a bad movie. I think now, question for you: if this was not an MCU movie, say this was just a movie that had, and they then would you still think it was just okay? I mean,
yeah, I probably would think it was worse.
Going in, okay,
I would think it was worse. It just more of me not liking a movie.
Yeah.
Like I like what it means to the whole overall story, and which is why I can get into the.
Now
MCU.
I do like them. Now again, massive spoilers. It's been long enough. I like them introducing the Black Knight. I like them introducing Blade.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
dope. Jon Snow's character. I'm excited to see where he goes.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, before we started our Marvel discussions and series, I'd really watched none of them. So I mean, it's not even that. Like I just never really watched them because I didn't really care. But they have this full story, and we wanted to do it, and so I'm interested in them as a piece of the world. And I just feel like I got no real additions to the Marvel world.
Yeah,
and I feel like it
feels
took
like,
away stuff.
It feels like they're building a parallel story to what we know and what they've been building on.
Right, like what's happened.
Now, obviously, they might bring it in. Maybe Thor will be like, "Oh, yeah, the Celestials. I know."
Like,
why did now they did bring up Thor at one point. Thor was brought up, so they clearly Thor must know who they are because they talked about Thor.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying.
He was like, "Oh yeah, I played with Thor when he was a little baby." So like maybe that. So then maybe because maybe we find out that Thor, maybe in his mind, he's told that the Celestials are like fairy tales. So maybe he's like, why would I?
Sure.
That's like would be talking about Hansel and Gretel.
I would love to see how they sell it. It was just not. I don't know. The pacing was off to me. Like the fight scenes were not fun to me.
Yeah, fight scenes didn't seem great.
I mean, like I came from watching Shang-Chi to watching those fight scenes and watching the pacing be appropriately on point. So this is just I just didn't, I don't know, like the color, like I don't know if like it was like the coloring of the show, like it was just almost like I was supposed to be on like an acid trip the whole time watching it.
Yeah. What did you think about the acting?
Well, I mean, great. I mean, from what it was dialogue based seemed mostly my problem. I mean, Rob Stark. I mean, being there, I thought he was a good.
Kumail Nanjiani was amazing.
Amazing.
I loved his character the most. Bill Skarsgård. I didn't
really like Cersei and her actress. I thought she was the weakest of the group.
I think she is supposed to be the weakest. I think of their power levels, I believe Cersei is the weakest.
No. Just the acting was the weakest of the main ensemble cast there.
I didn't like Druid's acting. I didn't really buy him as his character. I just didn't like
Druid was the one that was
like mind controlling people. Was mind controlling people. He was a little guy. I think he's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Angelina Jolie played. I mean, she acted.
Was it a girl? Was it a little girl?
No.
Was upset.
No. That was I don't remember now. Yes, I think he did portray himself as that. Yeah. He was able to show himself as that every once in a while. He was the one who went on to mind control people.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's so high. It's been a little bit. I didn't rewatch it. I'm just gonna pull up the picture. The one that was on its own that kicked it by itself. Oh, and what's his face from Atlanta? I thought he did a really good job.
Mahershala Ali,
I believe so.
Wait, no, he wasn't in it. He just played Blade. Phastos. Brian Henry.
Yes.
Yeah, Phastos was good. Don Lee played Gilgamesh very well as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, the actors and
I'm interested to see what they do with Star Fox. I think Star Fox is Thanos' brother with Harry Styles.
Love Selma.
Yeah.
Hayek. I mean, always. What's up? What's good with you? But yeah, I mean, overall, okay movie. I mean, I'm sure if I was interested in the Eternal storyline more, maybe I'd like it a little more. It's not for me.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where they go. But most of all, I'm excited for Black Knight and Blade to come out of this.
I'm excited for Moon Knight.
Moon Knight's gonna be really good. That's a six Oscar miniseries.
I want to say, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, I'm.
Kenobi's coming out soon. You're gonna be watching Halo.
Gonna be watching
March
Halo. 26th, I think. Yeah,
24th. 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days. I will be. I don't know if it's like a midnight release or how it releases or what. Is it
Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus. Yeah, I've got it. I'm sure I have that somewhere.
Yeah.
I have so many things in so many places I never even know anymore. I always have to make a couple calls to figure out what I'm supposed to do to log into what. But all right, guys. Maybe next week we'll talk a little bit about Halo. Maybe we'll get back to Summer of Bond. Don't really want to. We'll see what happens. We'll keep it loose. Let's move on to questions from the internet. You've got one for us today.
Yeah. What hair color do they list on your driver's license if you're bald? Was it just like the...
I would assume none, right?
Is that an option? I don't know. I mean, again, I didn't research it before. I'm sure there's an answer. There's bald people, Bobby, and they have driver's license. So, like, there's an answer to it. I'm just saying, like, do you do your old hair color, like what it was when you had hair, or
just so I can, because now I've never even thought about that, but it's super interesting. So you can choose bald. Is a color.
You can choose bald?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that answers that.
Yeah.
Questions from the internet,
or your eyebrow color.
Ooh, see, what if you got alopecia though? You just put on there alopecia.
A little bit long, but yeah. How about let's move on to this or that.
Time to cast your vote. Vote your cast. Choose your pick. Pick your choice. Make a decision and take a side for this or that.
All right, this is another one you got.
Yeah, and I guess we got to kind of throw some, specifics on it. But free travel for 1 year or free lodging for 5 years.
First question: free travel. Does that include gas to and from places?
Yeah, I would have to say.
So does that mean lodging counts for like my mortgage, or is it a lot? Because
that's what I would have to say. That's the only way that
because when it says travel and lodging, when I think of lodging, I think of going on vacation. So now, if we say travel's only travel, vacation, or when you get to your location, you get there for free.
I would say that overall, just what I was thinking of, just like what you were saying, free lodging includes that your home and your mortgage or whatever is paid for. And then the free travel is from the time I decide that I want to go and travel, everything is paid for. Snacks at the gas station. That's the only way to make it fair, I think. Yeah. Because if it's only, free gas. Hotels or,
because even gas now is expensive. So that honestly, it might be worth it for some people.
That's right. But I mean, it's not.
I think lodging for 5 years is the smart choice. I mean, having my mortgage paid for it, I would assume it also covered my gas bill, my water bill and stuff. That's part of lodging.
No, you got to pay your bills still. See, I feel like that if you just do everything's free for 5 years, then that's what you would choose.
So then is the lodging just paying the minimum payment? Is it not working off the, is it not,
I mean, you get to
is it not bringing the principal down? Because that's what, I mean, another thing, like that's a huge part of a mortgage. Like if it's making the minimum payments and not bringing the principal down, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we're just assuming that everything is normal. Whatever you're paying
Whatever
now.
I'm paying now. So
you're just paying.
Okay, so working off, for 5 years, my mortgage is getting lowered and the principal's going down and it just does what I'm doing now. 100% I'm taking the lodging for 5 years. And that also means that when I travel, don't have to pay for places when I travel too.
Yeah, no, you got to pay for
So I assume that the free
because
travel.
Because that's the only way. That's the only way to make it fair, though. Because I mean, free law. Obviously, you would just. I don't have to pay for the most expensive part of traveling.
Well, I assumed it would be, the free place that I would normally stay at, like my budget would allow me to normally stay at. That's what I get for free.
Yeah,
same way with free travel. If I go on vacation, I get free gas and free airfare.
No, see, in the 5 year, if you pick the 5 years of free lodging, in my mind. You don't even get to go. You don't even get to go on vacation in the 5 years. You get to stay in your state.
I mean, hell,
we didn't establish the you can do whatever you want with your free lodging. You can stay wherever you want, Bob. I don't know. I free travel. Like I feel like in a year I could probably pump out some fun, and then you don't even have to pay for anything. You just go to. I'm going to stay in hotels for a year.
Or free travel. You just a cruise ship is a form of transportation.
Oh, buy a cruise ship.
Technically, that's both. So don't know if it's lodging or travel. Just you can go either way.
It's on the fence.
Yeah. So you can either go on a free cruise for 5 years or a free cruise for 1 year. So
that's it. That's what we gotta do.
Yeah. You're like, I hate cruises, but he's right.
I mean, just buy a cruise ship.
All right. Let's move into what are you binging? March Madness, dude. Been watching so much basketball. No matter everything I'm watching, it's basketball usually on the side, whether it's the NIT, the NCAA, women's basketball. I'm watching all of it, betting on a lot of it. Even when I'm not betting on it, I'm enjoying it.
March Madness I had is like really my answer, but I had one from last week we didn't get to. Generation Kill. It's about the like first 40 days of the Iraq invasion, based off of a book written by a guy, and it's done by my boy David Simon. So it's really well done. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was really
It's
good.
more
I liked
of
it.
it's not really as much combat as it is just what David Simon does, like the monotony of.
It's the one about the journalist who goes over there, right?
Yeah.
it was
I
really
mean,
good.
Evan Wright. That's right. Evan Wright. He goes over there and he's actually embedded with them. Like he was there for
I
like the
remember
first
watching.
40
I think I was in
days.
high school. I watched it when it came out.
And I mean, he wrote a book about it, and it's based off this book, and they, it's awesome. It's really, really, really well done. I've always seen a lot about it. Never got around to watching it, and I'm just glad I did. I mean, it's my boy David.
Nice. All right, let's move into what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right. This one confused you a little bit when you first saw it. The jump rule in college basketball. I don't know. And when I said I mean the possession arrow. I don't call it a freaking jump ball if you're not going to actually make the jump for the ball. I do not understand that. Like, you have the first jump ball to start the game, and then apparently it's all based off that, going back and forth. I don't like that at all.
It is a lot of announcers.
It creates a weird dynamic where if you don't get the ball back, then it could literally it could lead to injury because maybe they try a little bit harder and they try to maybe throw an elbow to get the ball from that tie up.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, the tie up is generally what the announcers will call it. I mean, I like it in college basketball. I think it's more of a fair way than the NBA does it, because if a big guy gets with a little guy, then the big guy's always going to win that jump ball.
Personally, I think it should be like hockey, where you go to, one of the sides of the court and you have your centers come in and do a jump ball.
It's just not something that happens often enough to where it would be needed. I mean, it's 3-4 times a game.
I saw one game. It was like 8 times. It was a lot. And that's the main reason why I was in my head. I was like, this is happening a lot.
There's like 30 face-offs a game in hockey, right? I mean, 8 times is like a way high amount for something. It just doesn't happen enough. And I don't know. I mean, I don't hate your hate.
It's mainly annoying because it screwed me on a couple bets. All right.
Sure. See, at least I'm real with it on mine.
I'm real with it.
You're not. Now
it's bugging me.
After I've probed you. Mine is garbage time covers when they go against me. Okay. So I'm just going to be straight up with it. My hatred for garbage time covers is purely based on if it helps me or it doesn't. And mostly because there's no rhyme or reason to when a team will just stop fouling or continue to foul. I've seen them foul with down 15 and continue to foul. I've seen them down 4 and not foul. It's just so
it
stupid.
helped me a lot. Notre Dame was down, I think, 6 with a couple of seconds left. They didn't foul.
Yeah.
And I had Notre Dame to cover the spread. And I was like, oh my God, they're gonna foul.
They're gonna foul. They're gonna let them score.
It's the 8.5's not gonna hit.
Day one, some last garbage time foul or just letting some score. Like, that's why Gonzaga didn't cover for me day one.
Yeah. Personally, and I understand they do this because of injury and stuff. And, I don't like that when it comes down to garbage time that the player doesn't actually have to foul them. They more I literally saw a bunch where it's more just a tap or just like they motion to it.
The attempt.
Yeah. Or, I literally saw one where they didn't want to foul at all. They and apparently the coach after the games said he went up and told the ref, we are not intentionally fouling. They called an intentional foul like right afterwards, and it screwed them. Like they were like, no, we didn't. Like there was still time on, like we didn't want to do that. And because they don't waiting for the kid to actually intentionally or foul, they call it too early. Yeah. It seems very, I don't know. It doesn't seem right to me. But all right, guys, we will see you next week. I hope all your brackets do well, unless you are someone other than me. Then no. So hope all your brackets don't do well. All right, guys, talk to you later.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.